Hi guys, welcome back to Nebula Fox Toy Reviews. Today I'm going to be doing a bit of a Q&A. It's been a while since I've done one of these actually. It was a good few years ago, and I think this is... I did actually look back just before I started recording. I think this is number 7. So this is like the 7th Q&A video that I've done on this channel. I do need to really organise some of my videos into albums so they're easier to find, but oh well. So this is Furry Q&A number 7, and as you can see, this time we're in my bedroom because I'm not home alone for recording this video. If I'm downstairs in the living room in my videos, it means I'm home alone and I have the house to myself to be able to record downstairs. But if I'm up here, then unfortunately I'm not home alone. So I asked over on Instagram for some questions, and thank you very much to the few people that did give me questions. One person actually gave me a few questions, so that's actually helped to flesh it out a little bit. But yeah, so all of my questions are here on my iPad, hence why I don't have hand pause on this time, because yeah, the hand pause, and I can't wear the hand pause and operate a touch screen at the same time. So no hand pause, but you do have the head, which is good enough. So, commencing on with the questions. The first question from Rock Princess Cosplay over on Instagram. They literally just put, "I'm thinking con memories." So I'm guessing, like, what are your what are your favourite con memories of the year? Just making all the new friends, and also actually just trying out new conventions. I tried out so many new conventions this year. ScamCon was a new one. RakuCon was a new one. Doki Doki was a new one. HorrorCon was a new one. Let's see, Get Your Geek On and Huddersfield Con were returning ones. Oh yeah, Leeds Super Comic Con was another one that was another new one. I'm not doing that one again, but that was another new one. See, I think it was just the 2 in Huddersfield that were actually returning cons for me this year. So yeah, so basically trying out a lot of new conventions was one of the good memories. And just making new friends. I already knew Ash before this year's con season, but Morgan, so Coffeebot Cosplayers, was a new friend that I made this year. I met him at one of the cosplay meets, so I didn't actually meet him at a con. I did have the chance to meet him at a con, but I missed him. I didn't see him. So I actually first met him at one of the cosplay meets in my local area. So, and then since then we've been really good friends and been to pretty much every convention with him this year. Obviously Ash has been on holiday a couple of times, so there were a couple of cons where they didn't come. But it's been good. When the whole squad was together, the conventions were really good. Kindle Fairy, so Ash, Kindle Fairy asked, "What is my favorite video game?" I don't actually know. There are a lot of I've had a lot of consoles over the years, mainly in the handheld department. The actual home console, so the ones you play on the TV, this gen is the first time that I've really been able to say this consoles were mine. Because before, with the past Xboxes and all that kind of stuff, they were pretty much all my dad's. Yes, I had my own games, but it was my dad's console, so he pretty much controlled when it went on and everything, all of that. The only time I really got to play my own games is when he wasn't here. So, yeah. So, because I don't really have a favourite game overall, I'm just going to go through all of the consoles that I have or have owned in the past. And, or at least even if it's a console that was my dad's, if I had my own games on it, or just enjoyed playing the game, basically I'm just going to go through all of the consoles that have been in this house over the years, or been in my life over the years, and tell you my favourite game from each console. So, starting off with my very first console that I had experience with, which was the Sega Dreamcast. I only ever played two games on that console, and watched my dad play one, but I can still class it as a favourite because I have experience with it later down the line. So on the Dreamcast, we have House of the Dead 2, Buster Move, and Rayman 2 The Great Escape. House of the Dead and Buster Move were the two games I actually played, and Rayman 2 is the game I watched my dad play, and then thanks to the games getting re-released on the DS, I was able to play them further down the line. Up next is the Game Boy Color. So I skipped the original Game Boy. I was too young when that one came out. So I started my handheld journey with the Game Boy Color, and my favourite game from that was The Lion King. I still play it to this day. If I can ever actually find where my Game Boy Color games are, I do still play that game to this day because it's fun. For the Game Boy Advance, it's got to be Godzilla Domination. The game itself, the story mode, I can easily beat it within half an hour. It's weird. It's a very short game, but I have played that game so many times, I'm surprised that the cartridge actually still works. I thought the cartridge would have died a long time ago. For the Nintendo DS, so this is just like the regular DS, I think the game that I keep going back to the most, which is the ones that I will class as my favourite, is Combat of Giants, Dinosaurs, and Dragons. I love those two games. Unfortunately, with the Dinosaurs version of the game, one of the dinosaurs actually breaks the game. You'll get all of the other dinosaurs work absolutely fine. One of them, I think it's the Gastonia, you get so far into the story, the game just freezes. So, normally, you turn it off and you turn it back on. And then it freezes on the intro screen, or like the loading screen. That dinosaur, I'm pretty sure it's the Gastonia, that dinosaur breaks the entire game. I'm currently on my third copy of the game, because I thought it was just like the first copy, so I went and played as that dinosaur in the second copy. The same thing happened. So I'm not touching that dinosaur in my third copy. So, yeah, that dinosaur breaks the game. And then the Dragons one, it's the same sort of thing, but slightly different. Obviously, you're a dragon, you can fly around and everything. I think I do prefer the Dragon one over the Dinosaur one, but they're still cool games. For the 3DS, we have Super Mario 3D Land, that I love, Mario Kart, and Theatrhythm Final Fantasy. I have never played a normal Final Fantasy game ever in my life, but the Theatrhythm ones, because I like I like rhythm games depending on the theme, and I played the demo because there's two Theatrhythm games on the 3DS. I played the demo for the first one and really liked it, so I bought it, and then the second one came out and I bought that one. Didn't pay full price for them, I got them second hand because I didn't like them that much. And obviously, like, Mario Kart's a basic one. For the Wii, we've got Godzilla Unleashed, which I think ultimately is my favourite Wii game overall because I put so many hours into it. Mario Kart, I also put so many hours, I put loads of hours into that back when the Wii had online play, because obviously the Wii's just been completely shut off now. And also Legend of the Guardians, The Owls of Ga'Hoole, the game that's based on the film about the owls, the animated one. I think that's probably my second favourite game on the Wii overall, because like Godzilla Unleashed, I have put way too many hours into that game, despite it being really quick and easy to finish. On the Switch, I currently only really have one favourite, and that is Mario Kart. I do still need to buy the DLC for Mario Kart, but overall, I'm loving that game. I put the most amount of hours into it. I did get Pokemon Scarlet as well, so I did really enjoy that, but it's not really one of my favourites because I don't really go back to it. if there's ever like new terrestrialized Pokemons in like the raids and stuff like that, then I'll go back and give them a go. Or if there's new presents to get through codes, I'll give those a go. But the only time I really go back to it is if my friend messages me and says, hey, do you want to play Pokemon for a bit? So there's nothing really drawing me back to the game now that I've completed it. I might get the DLC for it, I don't know. So, moving away from Nintendo now, we have the PSP. For me, I know a lot of people will hate this game, but for me, it surfs up. The PSP version of the game is the reason I pretty much bought the console in the first place, because it's the same as the DS version, but the graphics were like better and it had a better soundtrack. So yeah, I'll say surfs up. It's basically Penguin. It's a Mario Kart clone, but I still enjoyed it. I still enjoy it, and I still play it to this day. On the PS Vita, so the touchscreen version, the PlayStation's touchscreen handheld console, I will go with Lego Jurassic World. I do have Lego Jurassic World on pretty much every console that came out on that I own. So, yeah. But on the I don't have loads and loads of games on the PS Vita. I bought the console for the Psychopath's Mandatory Happiness game, but it's not my favourite because it's a visual novel, and while I do like visual novels, they're not my favourite games. So yeah, Lego Jurassic World for that. And leaving PlayStation behind and going on to the Xbox. So the original Xbox for me is House of the Dead 3. I know, shocker, I'm not saying Halo, but I wasn't a big console gamer when that came out, so I liked my rail shooters, so House of the Dead 3 for that. Xbox 360 was when I properly started console gaming. So for me it was, going basic again, Call of Duty Black Ops 1 and 2 for the Xbox 360. I wasn't a... Basically because of my dad, I didn't really play many other games outside of Call of Duty. But since he left, I have played the likes of Castlevania Lords of Shadow 2, and the Devil May Cry HD Remaster, and the spin-offs, and number 4. So I have played more games outside of Call of Duty, but most of my good gaming memories are from Call of Duty, so that's why I'm saying that. The Xbox One, I'm saying Jurassic World Evolution. In a completely different style of game to the Call of Duties of the 360 days. But yeah, Jurassic World Evolution, it's an awesome game. So yeah. The Xbox Series X, so the current Xbox console, we have a few. We've got Devil May Cry 5. I played the special edition, which is the Series X version, so you get to play as Virgil. Virgil is amazing to play as. I love Virgil. Cyberpunk 2077. Yes, I know that game was awful to look at and play when it first released, but now it's pretty much fixed. I really enjoyed my playthrough of it, and I'm currently playing through it a second time, picking one of the different career paths. And I'm looking forward to playing the DLC one day. I've got Yakuza Like a Dragon, so that's the game I'm currently playing through. I'll admit I have got stuck on a part on one of the boss fights, so I'm giving that game a break and going back to Cyberpunk. Looking forward to the DLC for that coming out, but I need to finish the main game first. Also, Ichiban is getting an Android figure. I'm so getting that. And then finally, the Alan Wake remaster. Now, I'm not a big horror game fan. I'll happily watch YouTubers play other horror games, but for me playing the horror games myself, I haven't played that many. So I know Alan Wake isn't like body horror, shock horror, it's more like atmospheric horror, and psychological and stuff like that. I still really enjoyed it. I was really looking forward to getting Alan Wake 2, because I seem to have played the first one with perfect timing, because as I was getting towards the end of my playthrough, Alan Wake 2 was announced and was finishing up, so it was perfect timing. And then I realised that Alan Wake 2... Well, actually, I went to Game to go buy Alan Wake 2. And then they told me it's digital only. That's no good to me. I have the Xbox Series X, so I'm okay downloading digital only games. But I honestly prefer physical copies to games, because then I can sift through them in a drawer or on a shelf and be like, which one do I play today? I'm not a fan of digital games. If a game is digital only, then I will, I'll get it digitally. But if there's a choice between a digital only copy and a physical copy, I will 100% always go with the physical copy. Because I prefer having the game in my hand. And that's that. That's it. Oops. That's all of my favourite games on each console that I've had experience with. So, thank you for that question, Ash. Up next is the person that's asked me 3 questions, which is Akane Sunimori RJ on the Instagrams as well. Like I said, all of these will come off Instagram. So the first question from them is, what's my favourite Halloween costume? Nowadays, I pretty much always wear one of my cosplays. If I'm going somewhere where I can wear a mask, it will always be one of my fursuits. If I'm going somewhere where I can't wear a mask, last time I wore Zenitsu from Demon Slayer, but now I have a Willie Afton cosplay from Five Nights at Freddy's, so I do officially have a horror character that I can wear out on Halloween. I also have, for places with masks, I also have this new guy. So this is, if you've followed me on my Instagram, you will have seen this guy before. If not, then this is the first time he's appearing on YouTube. So, this guy, he's called Bucky. He was named by my friend Ash because I couldn't think of a name for him. So it's Bucky the Burlap Bull. He is like a mouth mover mask, so he's one of those that moves when you talk. And yeah, so I got him from Halloween House, I think it was called. It was just a pop-up Halloween shop in the Midlands, in the Maryhill Shopping Centre. I didn't know we had pop-up shops, because obviously America has Spirit Halloween, so Halloween House is basically like the UK's version of Spirit Halloween. So they sell very similar things, so I had to get this one, because it was sort of the closest thing to a fursuit head sort of mask that they had. So, yes. So you might see him on the channel in future as Halloween, as it comes up to Halloween. My Instagram is best known for Psychopath content, which is my favourite anime of all time. So, the next question is related to that. Who is my favourite Psychopath character after Gino and Togane? If you know me well, over on social media and in real life, you'll know that Gino, from Psychopath, Gino is my number 1 character, and Togane is my number 2. Sometimes I think they might both be joint first, but ultimately, Gino is number 1, Togane is number 2. For my number 3, I'm gonna say Masoka, so Gino's dad. We only see him in Season 1 and Sinners of the System Case 2. Those are the only times we really see him. But I love him. I pretty much liked him from the start, because right in episode 1 he was giving Akane advice. He's a latent criminal, so technically it's advice that Akane shouldn't really listen to. But he still gave her advice on how to survive as a cop in Sybil's world and stuff like that. So yeah, he helped Akane to settle, and when he died at the end of season 1, that honestly broke me. It just broke me. His death, seeing how it broke Gino and seeing Gino crying, just both of those things together broke me. So yeah, his death probably affected me a lot more than what it should have done, but I don't care. Final question from them is, am I a music fan? Yes. If so, what's my favourite genre? I love music, but I don't really have a specific favourite genre. With me, if I like a song, I like it, no matter what the genre is. So it's varied from your basic pop stuff, pop and rock, to a little bit of metal. Not like heavy metal or death metal that has God knows how much screaming in it. I don't really like that sort of metal. But like mild metal music where you can actually tell what they're saying. Maybe like a smidge of screaming, like maybe in the chorus or something. But most you can actually understand what they're saying. My phone at the moment is basically full of anime music, so all Japanese songs, with some Coldplay, Panic at the Disco, and that's about it, with some other just random songs thrown in there. So that's the group of questions over from them. Coffeebot cosplays, so here we go. Morgan, when did I start collecting toys? Now this is a very good question that actually got me thinking. Overall, I never really grew out of buying toys, as most kids do. I never really grew out of it, so I never really stopped. It did slow down at one point. It slowed to an almost stop. But then I went to uni. So that happened. When I went to uni, it was at the time when How to Train Your Dragon films were out, so all the toys for that were out. And also while I was down there, the Walking with Dinosaurs 3D movie came out. While the movie may not have been the best, the figures that they released for that film were some of the best cheap, affordable dinosaur figures on the market at the time. So I bought a lot of those. Well, I bought nearly all of them. And yeah, and then I met Dale, or Rochelle, as they're known now. Basically, I got with my boyfriend. I'm not with him now, but I got with my partner. He was a toy collector as well. He mainly focused on Transformers, but he got like other bits as well, but he mainly focused on Transformers. So seeing that there was someone else my age that was a toy collector, it meant it wasn't just me. So I kind of started going a little bit crazier at that point. While I was at uni, this was after I'd met my partner, the first Jurassic World movie came out, so just the one that was just called Jurassic World in 2015. So obviously the toys for that came out, so I did buy quite a few of those. I meant they were Hasbro crap, so I didn't buy all of them, but I got as many of the smaller ones as I could. So yeah. So of this scale, I would probably say since about 2014 maybe. No. Around about 2014, 2015, we'll say somewhere around there is where I really started like buying and collecting toys. But it wasn't until quite a few years after that that I actually started doing the YouTube of reviewing them. Because my ex also, he also reviewed toys for YouTube, so a mix of him and watching other toy reviewers made me want to give it a go. And then here we are now, doing YouTube. Doing the YouTubes. So that was Morgan's question. The final question is from Fizzaroli Frog, which I believe is Tavi over on the Instagrams. What annoys me about cosplaying? Well, in terms of the actual cosplaying itself, so the getting dressed up and going out, when a piece of your costume goes missing, you know it's there somewhere in your wardrobe or your drawers or wherever you keep your costumes, but you just can't find it. Or when you have it all together and a part of it just doesn't behave. Not necessarily broken, but it just doesn't behave. Like, it doesn't go where it's meant to be. It doesn't behave like it's meant to. And you just end up getting pissed off at it. Also, not being able to find cosplays in my size. As you've seen from my videos where I show my full body, I am slightly big. So I am a plus-sized cosplayer. And I don't have the talent, the skills, or the patience to make mine, so I buy my cosplays. So finding them in my size... So finding them in my size is pretty hard. Vinted is a pretty good place to look, but the only cosplay I bought from there, which was advertised as a triple XL, came as a 1XL. So I don't really trust in buying clothes from Vinted now, unless someone actually takes a picture of the size tags and puts it in their listing, sort of thing. So yeah. So that's about the cosplaying itself. About the community, however, the elitists are the thing I hate the most. The people that will put you down because your costume wasn't made, it's not 100% accurate, you're not the right gender for the cosplayer, you're not the right body size for the cosplayer. Just all of those. It doesn't matter. Cosplay is about having fun. You want to dress up as that character, you go ahead and dress up as that character. Doesn't matter if it's 100% accurate. You can sort of, in a way, you can make your own, you can make a cosplay your own thing. It doesn't matter if it's 100% accurate. If you've made it, if you've bought it, if you've made it, then, you know, kudos to you for actually having the time, the talent, and the patience for doing it. But if you've bought it, so what? Bought cosplayers can still win awards at conventions. My Tatsu cosplay at Doki Doki won 3rd place. It's a bought cosplay. So bought cosplays are still valid in the world of cosplays. And just the creeps in the community. That goes for the creeps that are other cosplayers and the creeps that are photographers. Because they're just the bad people. It ranges from basic bullies to stalkers to outright pedophiles and sexual harassment and sexual assaulters. A couple of my ex-friends in the cosplay community, I say ex-friends because I'm no longer associated with them, have been outed as pedophiles. And I hate that I was associated with a couple of pedophiles for one of them for only a short period of time, and the other one I was associated with them for a few years. So I hate that I haven't seen it, that I didn't see it sooner. Because cosplay as a whole, like dressing up as your favourite, dressing up as a character, going out there having fun, it attracts a young audience. Also, the cosplay community is mainly made up of adults, because they're the ones that have the patience, that they have the money, and or maybe not necessarily the time, but they have like the resources to put into making cosplays. But because it's dressing up and acting silly, it is going to attract children and kids cosplaying. Absolutely fine. I love seeing kids dress up and having fun. But because it attracts kids, it's going to attract the creeps that prey on kids. And that goes for the cosplay community as well as the furry community. Basically, anything that includes dressing up is going to attract the children, and it's going to attract the predators. And I hate that for both the furry community and the cosplay community. I hate it that both sides are full of creeps. But it is what it is. If we know where some of these creeps live, we can report it to the police and get them done. If we don't, then all we can do is really make bewares and call out posts about them. Basically just spread the word to stay away from people. And yeah. And unfortunately, you will have creeps like pedos and sexual assaulters. They do run conventions. So unfortunately, that is why I stay away from Anime League conventions and Unleashed Events conventions. Both of those are run by pedos. So both of those conventions are run by pedophiles. So that's why I don't associate with those conventions anymore. I never associated with Anime League, but I'll admit I used to go to Unleashed Events cons because I liked them. You know, if you went with friends, they were fun conventions. But just not anymore. I don't attend their conventions anymore. But anyway, that's enough of that. We have come to the end of all of the questions. What are we on? We're on half an hour. Wow. half an hour for a Q&A. So yeah, that's that. That's all of my questions. Thank you to everyone who sent the questions in. There were some pretty good questions this time. And thank you guys so much for watching this video, if you've made it this far. I didn't realise the video was going to be this long. So thank you if you have stayed this long. And I shall see you all in the next video, whatever that'll be. Bye!